with a check mark on it.
Yes, paperclip and a check mark.
Yep, you're good. So now you're over there. Yep. Hey, everybody. Hey, Jamie.
Hi.
Hey, Teresa. We have some guests. Some of you may remember Heather from our Quilted Homestead. And today, Heather, do you want to introduce who you have with you?
This is my sister, Rachel.
Hi.
She was in my most recent video, but she's always in the background of the videos. And
I'm usually filming.
So she's the other half of the channel behind the scenes.
Awesome. That's awesome. Welcome, Rachel. It's good to have you back, Heather.
It's nice to be back.
This is fun.
I always enjoy chatting with you, Tina.
I know, same here. I always enjoy, and I haven't kept up with texting or anything. You know, sometimes when you're on social media, it's the last thing you want to do, right? Is I should call your mom. Say hi, Mom. Say, hey, Ruth Ann, how's it going? We'll wait for a couple more people to come in, and before we get into the topic of Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving on the homestead. Thanks, Jamie.
Oh, that looks like Mom in the comments. She'll be our moderator.
Thank you so much. Good to have you here, Ruth Ann, too. Hope you're doing well. Oh, you're fine. You can come in all the time, anytime you want, right, girls?
Oh, yeah.
Jamie says hi, Heather and Rachel. So yeah, so I'll recap on here what we were talking about. So, and Jamie's another one too, because she had to stop filming for a while. So YouTube changed, and now they say you can have like 500 subscribers. There's two different levels now of monetization. There's 3,000 watch hours. That's your first level. And then there's 4,000 watch hours, which then the 4,000 is like you're completely fully monetized, but you do have to keep up your watch hours year after year, or you will lose your monetization. So keep that in mind if that's your goal, if that's what you're working towards, you know, or unless you're just putting out content to be encouraging and for you to reflect back on.
That's mostly our reason. We watch one of our favorite vlog channels is Janine. Is she call herself the Mennonite Mom?
Yes.
Her name is
Janine.
Oh
yeah, I love her.
You know her channel?
Yeah.
She did a video talking about why she does her channel, and it really just like spoke to my heart because she was talking about making memories for her kids and having those preserved somewhere that is easy to access. Exactly. So it's mostly about saving the memories and teaching others and helping others and just, you know, getting homesteading out there.
Yeah. Yeah. We have Heather and Rachel today from our Quilted Homestead. Heather has been here with her mom, Ruth Ann. I don't know if anybody there has got to see that live, but you can check that out on my channel. But they have a YouTube channel. I think they're now over 350 subscribers. Is that right?
Yes, I haven't checked, but I think last I checked it was like 355 or somewhere like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. So if you are new to them, I would suggest to go after our chat, go over and give them some love and watch some of their videos because they are too working on their channel as sisters and everything. Mm-hmm. Oh, good. We need to chat, Ruth Ann. I'm chatting with your mom in the chat.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
And then, hey, tell us, treasures. Yep. That's my sister, Rachel, and she has a candle business that was inspired by her dog, Tella, that passed away on Christmas. And now she sells candles. She does such a great job. Hey, the Crooked Peach. How are you? Good to see you again.
Hello.
Hi.
Whoops. We, let's see. Let's welcome in some friends. Hey, Victoria G. Welcome in. Christy Betts, good to see ya. Anybody else here yet? If you haven't liked, can you guys like this video and share it out? It helps out the channels. That's another important thing too. Hey, Marketplace Boutique, long time no see. Good to see ya. We have, I'm not sure why our names aren't popping up again. That's so strange. Hey, Troy, there we go. Hey, Troy Sutton, welcome in.
Hello, everybody.
Let's see. Hopefully I haven't missed anybody. There's Marketplace Boutique. I don't know if I went to click on yours, Marketplace, and it pulled something else up. I'm so sorry, but good to see you. Welcome back. We had our weather like dropped like 30 degrees and overnight. It is yeah, it's chilly here, which I love. I'm not complaining. I love it. And apparently we're in for some sort of weather tomorrow. I think it's going to stay more north of us, but in Ohio, they got snow today. My friend posted.
Oh, really?
Ohio, they got some snow.
Yeah, so we have some cousins and family that live up there, and they were sending us pictures and videos of all the snow.
Yeah. Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate it. Yeah. So if anything, maybe we'll get some like passing flurries or snow showers that won't really do anything. Hey, little house on the farm. Good to see ya. Everybody's so kind on here. This little community. I like it a lot. They're so nice. Oh my goodness, everyone.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I was listening in on your last live stream where you were talking about holiday traditions, and everybody was so kind in the comments. It was awesome.
Wasn't that nice?
Yeah.
And I actually just put out a video on Monday of my daughter and I making raviolis, those ravioli. Sweet. We were over at her house on Sunday after church, and it was the only day that they really had free. And I'll be honest, I was like, it's fun to make it, but I just didn't feel like making them. Like I did
Is it time consuming?
Yes, because I don't have my KitchenAid pasta maker. Everything was hand cranked, except for the meat grinder. I had brought the meat grinder and used her KitchenAid, but I have bought two of those KitchenAid pasta makers that make the long sheets, right? And they both have gone out on me, and I'm like, they shouldn't be going out for what you pay for those things like that. So
Rachel makes pasta by hand sometimes too.
I have one of those rolly things that stick on the end of the KitchenAid mixer. Don't know what you call them.
The pasta rollers.
Yeah, pasta rollers. And I actually made ravioli a few months ago, and it was very time consuming.
Yeah. What did you stuff yours with? Thank you, Jamie. I think so too.
Ground beef and some pasta sauce. And some cheese. So yeah.
It was like spaghetti inside spaghetti.
Yeah.
That's fun. So in mine, I cook a roast and chicken, and then it's usually like a chuck roast, but this year I only had a rump roast, and I was like, I got to use this, so might as well use what I have. And I did chicken thighs. And so when we cook it up like normal in the oven, and then we do spinach. So I had spinach in my freezer from the garden, and then we cook that up, and then we grind all of it together. And then once it's all together, like the day of that we're going to make the ravioli, we crack one egg and about a quarter cup or so of Parmesan cheese we add to the meat mixture, and just get all that together, but don't scramble the egg so it binds together. And then we just pinch it. Yeah.
Wow. That sounds yummy.
Yeah.
That sounds yummy though. It sounds like a labor of love.
It is. This year we probably did 100, and that was like, I said, I'm done. That's enough for Thanksgiving. We don't need to do anymore. My mom, it was so funny because we FaceTime with my mom and dad about it. And my mom goes, Tina, don't you remember when we did 1,000? I said, yes, Mom, I do.
It's like canning tomatoes. We had one year, was it 2019 or 2020 when the tomatoes went crazy, and we did hundreds. We did so much tomato sauce, and we're still we're still finding jars of that tomato sauce turning up. Like, how long has that been in there?
That's funny. Hey, John Clark, welcome in. We I still have tomatoes in my freezer to process. What's that say?
Yeah, well, we intentionally freeze our harvest during the summer so that we can get it out and cook it on the gas stove in the winter. Warms the house up. Instead of adding heat to the kitchen during the summertime with your canning.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I have those to do. I have apples. I just bought apples last weekend because I don't have any apple pie filling.
Mm.
I have those, and then potatoes still to do too.
Do you buy your apples from like a local orchard?
I do
Or
up
do
in
you buy them in
PA.
bulk at
Well, not
Sam's?
local to me, but I buy them up in PA. Usually,
Nice.
so in Pennsylvania, there's most farm stands you go to actually have the apples, but Kaufman's right on 340, it's their own orchard. And so they have bins and bins of apples all the way through, I don't know, December of all different
Wow.
varieties. So,
That's
and
so nice.
they're reasonably priced, you know?
Mhm.
So these ones, okay, Teresa, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend. I'll be live again tomorrow night too. Yeah, I'll be live again. So it is a labor of love with the raviolis marketplace, let me tell you. It is. But yeah, so I do often ask myself, why do I even bother with a turkey and everything else? Because everybody eats the raviolis. So
Yeah.
anyhow, so guys, we are going to continue our conversation. From last week, we were talking about Thanksgiving and traditions, and this time we're going to be talking about just some little fun, like Thanksgiving on the homestead, and just some little fun facts about Thanksgiving and that. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. First, let's start with this question: who has to go to the grocery store to buy stuff for Thanksgiving dinner? If you're cooking or if you're taking something, have you gone to the grocery store yet?
Yeah. So for us personally, I guess maybe 75 or 80% of our Thanksgiving is stuff that we raise. And we go to the grocery store for stuff like heavy cream because we don't get cream from our goats and the things that we can't pull off the farm.
Yep. So today I went, and I'm just going to tell you all, it is busy out there already at the grocery stores.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing, like, so I went to I had to go to Walmart today, and they were a couple cents cheaper on some things. Okay, I'm going to admit it right here. Hey, Echo, welcome in. My husband has to have that Ocean Spray cranberry stuff in the can. That leaves the ripples, okay? We like fresh cranberries that, you can chop up and add the orange to and make your own salad. But it was 2 cents cheaper than the grocery store local. But since I was here, I thought, yes, okay. That was a lady I was telling you about. She had her procedure. She ended up having to stay the night in the hospital, but she's home now. But yeah, so I would suggest, friends, to just go to the store and buy your stuff because it's busy, and I don't like to be around all those people.
Yeah, go early to the grocery store when you can, definitely, especially on Thanksgiving.
So like you, so I went today. I only needed literally, aside from the cranberry, because I have to have that for my husband, I didn't have a turkey. So the grocery store down the street had their organic turkeys, Giant. Jamie, Giant. They had it for 99 cents a pound. It wasn't it's only a 12-pound, turkey, because there's only going to be 5 of us here. And mostly everybody will eat the ravioli versus the turkey. So that's what I did. I went and got that. But like you, from whether I grew it or I supplemented it from the farmers up in PA when I go up there, and I've canned it, there was really nothing I really needed at the grocery stores. So that's
a great feeling when you can. Not all the time does our own harvest work out, and I think every homesteader does that. There are areas where you just can't produce yourself, or something doesn't turn out, and you just got to go either find somebody else who has the product or go to the grocery store. And there's no shame in the grocery store, absolutely. For me, it's mostly, I think we shared a bit about my health testimony on our last live. And the chemical additives and preservatives that are in the food in the grocery store. And of course, everybody's talking about RFK and Joel Salatin right now with the recent changes in government. But yeah, the kind of stuff that they're talking about is the reason why I grow my own food. So yeah, so we're not doing a turkey this year. We have some heritage breed chickens that are set for a date with the freezer this Saturday, and that'll be our Thanksgiving dinner.
I think that's wonderful, because I even said I should just roast a whole chicken. So I'm picking up my chickens on Saturday. Because it was so funny. My son, who lives with us, I said, "Yeah, I've got 10 chickens to go pick up." And he goes, "Mom, are you going to put them on the back side of the coop?" And I said, "No, they're dead. They're going in the freezer." So I've yet to butcher any chickens. I think I've even expressed that to you. And if you don't know Holly over at 50 Acre Homestead, she's another great channel if you want to give her a follow over on IG. She's
Okay.
she's up in Canada, and she has started a women's homesteading club up there. She's been on my channel as a guest too. She's fabulous. But that's the one thing I told my husband. I said, I know I can do it, but I just don't think I could cut the heads off. That's the only thing I would have problems with.
I had a major journey when it came to processing my own food and coming face to face with, knowing what your food looks like. So when I've been homesteading since I was about 6 years old, and we only started processing our own meats when I was maybe 12 or 14. And I had an emotional attachment to my chickens. Like,
so you haven't been doing it that long then, right?
How long have we been actually putting? It's been maybe
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years since we started putting our own meat in the freezer.
Okay.
So when we started out, I had an emotional attachment to the chickens. They were my babies. They all had names. And there was no way that I would, I remember crying over dinner one night.
Okay.
But
yeah.
as I became more of an adult. And number one, I watched Joel Salatin's movie Food Inc. And that opened my brain up to this is what's happening in the commercial industry. This is what that process looks like. And it's not kind and it's not friendly. And the friendliest thing that I can do to make sure that my family has food on the table and that everything is done humanely is to do it myself, to make sure that my chickens are on grass. They are well cared for. They are loved. And that's important to me, that the animal is raised in a kind manner. And that when I process them, I do it with respect and with purpose, and nothing dies without purpose. So,
yeah, it's still, I think it's just a psychological thing, to be honest with you. When you do that. So, because at the time when we got them, I didn't have the area to keep them at, the chickens. So a friend of mine that I met at market, he was buying them for his farm stand. So he was so kind to, get me the chicks and raise them and feed them. And then I just turn around and I just pay him. I just paid him for the feed and that. So yeah, he gave me a good deal on it. So they come whole, which is fine with me, because I'll just use, the bones and stuff, right, for broth.
Mm-hmm.
So, which, I did canned broth already this year, but it is so delicious that I need to can more and put more up.
We love our homemade chicken broth. And that system you're talking about, we do that with beef. So I have a friend who raises beef cows. And so whenever I need beef, I go to her and I buy a live steer from her and she takes care of it. And she sends it to the processor and I just go and pick up the meat.
Yep.
So I'm not to the point where I can process a cow.
No. So my friend too, she has, local, it's grass fed, but they grain finish it. Mm-hmm. But I will go and buy all the beef bones and stuff from her and make my own beef broth. And I'm actually out, and I have tallow. I haven't done the tallow yet. I've watched Ruth Ann Zimmerman do her tallow, because I'd like to try some tallow lotion or something like that, but I don't want to smell like beef either.
I have mine right here. It's this tallow lotion that comes in a stick. This is from Toops & Co. Organics. It was actually given to us when we were at the Homemakers Festival.
Yeah.
And I love this stuff. It goes on so well under makeup, or it doesn't really have a smell. I use it as a lip gloss. It just is amazing. I love it.
Sorry. Somebody was messaging me that they're a big animal lover, and so it's hard for them to listen to how we're talking about the animals and stuff like that. And that's okay. I understand that. You know, I never had that mindset in me either until I started studying, learning, and understanding more where, you know, the food comes from, especially the food if you go to the grocery store, right? So, but let's move on. Let's they're like, no worries.
This one here says, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the comments.
Yeah,
John
go
Clark
ahead.
Says, I don't make chicken jokes. All of mine are foul.
That's funny. That's so funny. Let's see. What are we all talking about down here? So if you're here, I don't know how many, we have 10 people here, so that's good.
Okay.
That's good people. Maybe some more will trickle in. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna read a fun fact, and then we'll go into your like just what are your traditions, because you weren't here last week, so we'll talk about that. So here's a fun fact. Did you know the average calories consumed at a traditional Thanksgiving meal is 4,500 calories? That's a lot of food.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The chicken police. So my new chickens that hatched in July, I only named one, and that was Butterball, because he's the only rooster that came out, and his little bottom was so round. And I'm like, Butterball. And he was so fat. Like, he was the fat rooster. I couldn't get over how big he was, you know, for a little one. And he's still fat and a hog. So Butterball is his name. He's a little, hey, welcome in. I can never pronounce your homestead. Higa? I just probably totally blew it, right? Oh, you just subscribed to my channel. Thank you, John Clark. I appreciate that. I named, well, I have a top hat, and I named her Sassy, and she literally does talk. But my, hey, Templing Acres, welcome in. But my granddaughter named the other two, and she calls one Rainbow, which I'm not sure why, because it's black and white. It's an Americana. And then the other one is so big, I always called her Big Mama. But now the chickens, I don't name the chickens because, yeah.
I had a rooster named Turkey Lurkey because he was huge.
Well, my rooster, my one rooster out there right now with the girls, his name is Gaston. And so if you've ever seen the movie,
Gaston. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
We sing to him from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. Yeah. Ours was a little Polish chicken. We don't know how it got into the batch we ordered, but they sent us a Polish chick. And they have really fluffy heads when they grow up. So we named him Gaston. He was just the king of the farm.
He had an attitude.
Yep.
So my, now this may become a trigger warning for some. My Polish chicken, I named him Stonewall. And he did his job. He was not the friendliest of roosters, but he was okay with me because I had to put him in his place. But when he got, sadly, I had an attack on my whole entire flock. And he protected his girls because it showed with all the feathers that were inside. And I was just like, it took me a minute to like process what had happened in the coop area. And then when I looked around and I realized that he wasn't there, that was
Oh, that's
just,
so sad.
yeah. And so the last three, Rainbow, Big Mama, and Sassy and him, they were all from the same place. They all came together. And when that happened, I had to move the chickens out and move them inside for a while so we could figure out, what was getting in and where they were getting in from. So
yeah, that's the hardest part of homesteading is when things like that happen that are outside of your control.
yeah, it is. And whenever I go out there, I still look all the way around, like what's not secure, because I need to make sure.
Yeah.
All right, here's one more. It says the first Thanksgiving was held in the autumn of 1621 and included 50 pilgrims and 50 pilgrims and 90, I don't know how to say the Indians' name, Wampango Indians, and it lasted 3 days. Historians believe that 5 women were present, as many women settlers didn't survive that difficult first year in the U.S. There you go. Those are 2 little fun facts. I have a whole list of them. Don't get me wrong, but those are the first 2 I wanted to share.
Okay.
We also know. So yeah. So what will be on your Thanksgiving table this year?
Well, we have a menu right here.
Awesome.
So we've been working on our little menu on our note card.
So we have the organic chicken, green bean casserole. Everything we make, we can't use cream of soups, so we make our own bases and everything.
Yeah.
Heather's dinner rolls. We have a video.
Yes, I gotta
how to
make those, Heather.
Yeah, and mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce. We make our own cranberry sauce as well. We have canned cranberry sauce in the pantry, and so I mix it with oranges and good stuff. Pecan and apple pie. My brother, he insists on apple pie every year, so I make that for him.
Can't go wrong with it.
A cheese ball. Have you ever heard of that before?
I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah, so that's fun. Heather likes those.
Yeah.
And then I think
you're gonna make it.
Yeah. So it's like cream cheese. Ours has like cream cheese and onions and bell peppers, and then we roll it in nuts, and then we have crackers with it.
Yeah.
Okay. It sounds delicious, except for the nuts.
Oh, you don't like nuts?
I love nuts, just not on my food or in my food. I'm one of those weird types. So yeah, sounds delicious. What else are you gonna have? Anything else?
I think that's it. Because we cook everything from scratch and organic, a lot of the big elaborate stuff can be too difficult to do. We might pre-bake those, but sometimes we just, don't really work on really big stuff. We just work on getting a nice Thanksgiving dinner and then having time over for a movie or a board game or something. And
yeah. And it goes back to, it makes me think of the way we do things. It makes me more thankful because I think of the pilgrims who just came over, and I imagine what it must have been like for them, like talk about off-grid homesteading, right?
Yeah.
They came over on a boat and they're all sick getting off the boat, and they're trying to scratch out a life in this like barren land that is the new world, right? And so the first Thanksgiving is for them is like, thank you God for this bountiful harvest. And it was probably a deer or a wild turkey and whatever they can get together and grow themselves. So it makes me feel more connected to the original intent of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think too, for me personally, your mom says pineapple in the cheese ball too.
Thanks, Mom.
One of the things for me, like when we celebrate Thanksgiving, because now like where I live and how I now preserve my food and I try to grow some and supplement it, it just has a deeper meaning now come Thanksgiving. I understand the harvest and feel more connected in a sense, right? To that.
Yeah.
What? Troy Sutton, it's snowing in southern West Virginia.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Maybe it will hit here soon. I don't know. But that's kind of where like I now look because I can. Okay, so the roast was sourced from a farmer here. The
Mhm.
chicken was sourced from a farm in Ohio. That's Gerber chicken. I don't know if you know Gerber chicken. They're out of Ohio. I think they're a Mennonite or Amish farm. It's all organic, natural stuff. Although they can't call it organic because of
Yeah, labeling and
Yeah.
stuff.
It's excellent chicken. So we'll have like the ravioli, the potatoes. It depends on if we're going to have mashed potatoes. I had talked about doing roasted potatoes, just something completely different than the mashed potatoes and gravy. I always try to, I like to add one new dish to our dinner table. But that kind of got shot down really fast. So
I don't know.
we'll do the potatoes that were grew on my friend's farm. So I'll use those. The cranberries, I did not grow them, but they're organic. The green beans I have in my freezer that I preserved. The turkey, as I said, I just bought. I want to try your dinner rolls.
Okay.
I
They're
want to try
super
that
easy.
recipe.
We actually made a pizza from that same dough last night. It took about 20 minutes to mix up and put in the oven.
Yep.
Yeah, I really want to.
And that's what I'm snacking on over here. I have dinner rolls over here that I'm hiding off camera.
Yum, that sounds good.
Yeah, so
Everybody's chatting with each
we were
other.
saying you. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I
What was that,
interrupted
Heather? I'm sorry.
I said you were saying you grow your own green beans. We actually, I don't know if it's the Alabama soil or what, but we struggle with green beans down here. So I was curious how you do you have to amend your soil or anything when you grow your green beans?
I mean, you know what I do? I throw in some. What do I throw in there? So it's basically dirt with leaf mulch, and then I will throw in some granulated fertilizer. And then for my Amish friend, he makes his own fish emulsion, and then I use that on it, like when I plant them, and then that's it, and they grow.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's good.
Yeah.
Ours always turn out a bit stunted, so we get tiny little green beans and nothing to can.
Is it the weather?
I don't know. I hadn't really figured it out yet. Somebody told me once that I needed to add, was it zinc or something to the soil?
Maybe.
But yeah.
Are you growing them right now, or are you going to try to grow them?
We tried them. Did we try them this summer or last summer?
We tried them last year.
Last year. And it made a big, beautiful plant, and it went up and over the trellis, and it looked great, but the green beans were like that big.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not sure.
Well, everything's an experiment.
It is an experiment. You learn, you live. So this year, one of the things I experimented on was pinto beans that I bought from the grocery store and kidney beans, dry beans, right? And I soaked them overnight for them to soften up and split. And so I literally went out and threw them in my garden, and guess what happened? They grew.
Really cool.
Yes.
That's fun.
And they produced the pods. And well, I won't take you to my sunroom, but my table, I have a whole bunch of them that I left them all out there to dry, and I'm going to use those for seeds for the next year.
That's fantastic. How cool is that?
Yeah.
You figured out you've hacked the system.
I did. I thought, let's just try it, right? Because I mean, so even I learned, hey, Mimi's Place, welcome in. Hey, Mountain Grandma. I even learned that like, don't throw your seeds away. And if you soak them, like I have seeds from a couple years old, and if you soak them, then they will grow. And I did that, and I literally just tossed them out in my raised beds out there and for the fall, and I got the most beautiful sugar snap peas, and they are so good. So
That's
yeah, I'm going to
awesome.
be growing a lot more of those because I need to put a trellis up. So yeah.
We love growing peas.
Mhm.
Rachel and I pick them off the vines.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing and just eating them while I was out there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes,
I
I
have,
love growing peas.
yeah. Who do we have here? Let's welcome in a couple of new people.
Okay.
Hey, Jan, Simply Jan's Homestead, welcome in.
Hi.
And there is Tammy. Tammy, congratulations. And Tammy just got fully monetized. So
Oh, that's
congratulations.
fantastic.
We're having a celebration on Friday night. Isn't that right, Miss Tammy? So if you're around Friday
That's great.
night.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So yeah. So Rachel, let's get to know Rachel just a little bit too. Rachel, so I know that you like to bake, right? What else? What other hobbies do you like to do?
Yeah, so I'm a quilter. I've been quilting since I was like 5 years old in my mama's lap. And actually, the quilts right back there on the sewing machine, those are mine. Those are the ones I made. And I also love cross stitching as well and any kind of embroidery. Yeah.
She does a lot of like fiber arts and thread and yes, with fabric.
That is wonderful. Do you have a sample of any of your quilting nearby that you could just show everybody?
Yeah, sure. Here, I'll have to set down our audio for a second, so I'll be
You're
able to hear
fine.
you.
You're fine. Yeah, John, they're gonna
This one's one that I did when I was about 10 or 12. This is the first quilt I ever made.
Nice. It's a 9 patch.
They can hear. Can they hear us over here?
I can hear you.
You can talk to Miss Tina.
Hi. All right. And then here.
I love that. That's a 9 patch,
And then
isn't that right, Rachel?
This one, I don't actually remember the pattern name.
I think it was called Taylor Tack.
Yeah, I think it's Taylor's Tack. It's kind of a hybrid of a 9 patch.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah. And then this one I made a few years ago.
Open.
I love the border on this one, the gray border.
Yeah, all the way open. I'm sorry, we're having a little quilt show here. And how old were you when you did this one?
I think I was 13.
Well, that is amazing. That is amazing.
I overestimated how much I could do, so this one grew a little large.
No, it's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And
I actually was. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was working on one this summer, and so I don't have it fully put together and
Is
quilted
this the
yet.
one you're working on right now?
Yeah, but I do have the quilt top here, and so this is the one that I did. This is a traditional 9 patch with sashing in the middle and then a border around the edge.
Wow, just wow. That's beautiful.
Thanks. Thank you.
Everybody's loving them, and
You want me to
just
help you fold that?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's been my hobby for all of my life, and Mom taught me how to do it when I was very, very young. And so me and her quilt together a lot.
I think that's wonderful. My mom taught me too.
Let me give the other so I can hear too.
There.
Yeah. Little House on the Farm says your quilts are beautiful, Rachel. Have you ever tried baking with sourdough?
Heather's actually creating sourdough right now.
I started my starter last week and it's alive and it's bubbling. I made one loaf and it flopped and it went to the chickens.
That's okay. You just keep doing it. Everybody, let's see. We got Tell Us Treasure says, those are beautiful. Great work.
Thank you.
Wow. Talented.
Oh. Thank you so much, everybody, for the kind comments.
Yeah.
I love those colors.
She did one quilt where she came up with her own, what do you call it? The patch design?
Yeah, my own patch. So
yeah.
Like your own pattern.
And it was so cool. Yeah. And it was, what did you call it?
It's actually a galaxy quilt. So
it's space themed.
You can make like panels and stuff, and you can do panels online through Spoonflower, but you can also get them at the store. And so I got a panel that was a whole bunch of cats, like pictures of cats and stuff, with like galaxy designs behind them and stuff.
Space kitties.
Yeah, and I made my own block to go with that pattern.
Oh,
It's still in the quilting stage. I made that a couple years ago. It was so like detailed that I haven't had the guts to actually quilt it yet because I don't want to mess it up. But
no,
that one's still in the
that.
process.
Now, will you quilt by hand?
Oh, grab this.
Quilting
Mom is
by
passing
hand.
me
I usually do
starter.
machine. So I did quilt by hand a little bit when I was young and making pot holders and stuff. So I
Okay.
quilt by hand that way. But for the bigger quilts, I just find it easier to do machine. We have a mid arm back there. And so that has
If
made
I
the
roll out
process
of
a
the
lot
way, you
easier.
probably see it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's so awesome. Let's see. Yeah, here's a question for you. Do you enter any of your quilts into shows?
I did once, the Coleman County Fair. I actually won first place.
She did.
Oh,
fair.
congratulations. That's awesome.
That was
Thank
the Taylor Tack quilt
Mhm.
one first.
Yeah,
That's
I was young though.
awesome.
I haven't entered them in shows in a while, but I'm hoping to get back into it soon.
Yeah, you do really great work. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing them with us.
Yeah.
That's so great. Yeah, our mom is an avid needleworker and quilter and knitter and you name it. And even though, you know, I've dabbled in it and I know how to do it to a point, it's not something that I picked up and just went with it. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'd rather be in the kitchen type of person.
Our,
Mom's handing me
our
stuff,
backstage lady.
so I also
I appreciate that, Ruth
got
Ann.
this one too.
Oh, look at that.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mom.
This is the Ohio Star. We have family
Yeah.
in Ohio, and that one got first place too.
I
so.
love that. Congratulations. I actually came across, it's so funny. I came across a quilt that I started and I opened it up at this blocks and I was like, wow, Tina, you were doing a really good job. Why did I stop? You know?
Yeah.
But you know, what's really strange is the pattern book that I got it from. I don't know what happened to the pattern.
Mm.
I don't know what
Yeah.
happened to it. I can't find it. So yeah, I know. Right, Christy? Not surprised you won first place.
Oh,
Thank you. Y'all are so kind.
so Little House on the Farm has asked. They said, "Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? It disappeared." Okay, cool, Heather. How old are you? I'm 18. My name is Katie. Hi, Katie. I'm 25, and Rachel, you turned 19 in February.
yes, I
Yeah.
turned 19 in a couple months. So
That's awesome. You guys are right there in age, so that's really great.
Yeah. Yeah, so
know,
I call
I
her my
should
big little
continue.
sister because she looks older than me. I look like the younger sibling, but yeah, I'm 6 or 7 years older. Yeah,
That's so
she was my
funny.
baby doll.
That's funny because a lot of people think my sister is the younger one and I'm the older one.
I think it's a thing with older sisters. The older sister always gets mistaken for the youngest, I think. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
I don't know either. And your Ruth Ann says, yes, you should continue. Perhaps I will.
Thanks,
Who
Mom.
knows?
Absolutely. I think so too.
So let me see that starter. Let me see your starter.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she needs to be fed. She's looking a little peaked.
Do you keep your starter in the fridge?
I'm still figuring out how to do it. So
Okay.
Mom did starter for a long time when I was little. She did sourdough, but it's been a couple of years since we brought out sourdough stuff and I'm trying to figure it out. And so I did keep the starter in the fridge for a few days when I was too busy to feed it. And I got it out yesterday morning and fed it. And I need to feed it again today because I'm trying to build up enough starter to make a bigger loaf.
Mhm.
And we're going to follow Mom's old recipe and
Okay.
see how it goes.
So you're going to do actual hard crust round sourdough loaf or a soft sandwich bread?
I think the first one is probably, I don't really remember much about how Mom used to do her sourdough. I think hers was a soft, like a sandwich bread, but I want to learn how to do the pretty Instagram loaves.
Wow. You know, it's really not that hard to make like a sourdough round sandwich bread. So with my soft sandwich bread, I use anywhere between a half to 3/4 cup of my starter, a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of honey, and about maybe a half a cup of water. I always start with less, and then about 3 to 3.5 cups of flour. And now I just know like the texture when I pull on it, how it should look and feel. So
Okay.
and yeah.
I think my problem with the last loaf that I did that went to the chickens, I think I didn't use enough starter. I think I probably should have used, because I was thinking smaller amounts, and I think I probably should have used a lot more starter.
A lot more.
And it didn't rise right.
That's okay. You just learn, right? You learn from that. One of the things, I have a couple of starters inside my refrigerator right now. One of the things I want to look at your mom's comment.
You failed, yay! That's a thing in our family. Failure is a beautiful thing.
It
You
is.
learn all the ways not to do something. That's what mom always has told us since we were kids. If something didn't turn out right, she says, yay, you failed.
Yep. Do it again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny because I remember probably a year or so ago, Ruth Ann Zimmerman on her Instagram account said something, and I said, yeah, I said, mine failed. I killed it. She goes, so start again. I was like, you're right. So
Yeah.
I did. I went to Amazon and got a dehydrator starter, but it taught me some things, right? And then I ended up now dehydrate my own starter, and then I sell it, and it works because I've tested it. So that's how far
That's
I've come in my
fantastic.
journey.
So Tina, what is the difference between a dehydrated starter and one that is like they call it wild caught yeast? Because mine, there's wild yeast bugs in there. So I caught mine off, just followed the flour and water and let it sit, and it bubbled. So how does it differ when you use a prepackaged starter?
So the dehydrated ones, you have to bring it back to life. It's already been fermented before, and now you're feeding it to bring it back to life. I've never heard the term that you're using now. That's I've never heard that term before.
That was I just watched a YouTube video, and I think it was Farmhouse on Boone, and she was talking about wild caught yeast or like a wild ferment yeast.
Okay.
And it was basically just that she put the flour and the water together and let it sit on her countertop, and it started bubbling. And so I just followed her video, and that's what happened here. And she needs to be fed. She's not very bubbly, but she did bubble like up to here.
Yeah. Are you saving your discard?
So I'm trying to do the no discard method and use the discard for different projects and stuff. So I haven't had to discard yet because I've only had this going maybe a week and a half.
Okay.
2 weeks-ish.
Nice. I don't know. She's probably a better person to know what that term is. I really don't know what it is. But I had bought my starter on Amazon from the San Francisco Bread Company, and it was just this little dehydrated piece like that. And you, pardon me, and you start with like a tablespoon one day, mix it up, let it sit for a couple hours, then come back to it. So it was just, So my starter that I dehydrated, it's in pieces or it's in chunks. It's however you want to do it, break it up. But once you start reactivating again, it's going to come back to life, right? Hey,
yeah, that makes sense.
Home life. Yeah.
Hello.
We just had a little mini quilt show. Rachel is Heather's sister. Wave, Rachel. Can you wave to the crowd? Here? That's Rachel.
Yep.
And she is a quilter, and she does beautiful work. So if you don't know who they are, go over, please, and show them some love over on their channel. If you're on IG, follow them over on IG too.
Oh, and thank you, Tina.
Yeah. Well,
John
thank
Clark
you.
Says, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just saw this comment. John Clark says, FAIL is an acronym, first attempt in learning. I like that. I like that.
Yes. Yeah, there is, right? They actually, Azure Standard has a gluten-free sourdough starter, dehydrated one too. And so does the San Francisco sourdough company on Amazon. And I was very, very tempted to purchase that. I have 2 recipes to start a sourdough starter using the 1-to-1 flour from Bob's Red Mill, the 1-to-1 gluten-free. And I killed it the first 2 days. So
Oh, no.
it was not coming out right. And I don't think I was focused. I had too much going on in my kitchen. So I said, I need to come back to this when I can just really just focus on this and nothing else.
Yeah. I
So-
did discover very, very quickly
Whoops.
that it's like having another pet.
It is. You have to tend to it all the time, right?
Mhm.
Where
Yeah.
I want to go with mine is I want to be able to, have you ever seen those reels where like their sourdough just gets really big and they make multiple loaves out of it?
Mhm.
Mhm.
I want to learn how to do that, because if I can make multiple loaves of like the sandwich bread, I've been able to double it, but to me, it's a hit and miss for me. I'm not consistent, with it when I double it. So that's kind of where, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just
So
I
I
just
have,
need to do it.
this is kind of I already know I've got 2 New Year's resolutions that I've already made and I'm already working on, but I'm going to
Okay.
continue them through New Year's. One of them is learning how to do the sourdough, and the other one is swapping out my like bathroom products like shampoos and soap bars and stuff for homemade or natural alternatives that are like chemical free. So those are my 2 projects that I'll be working on. Is
That's
that and
awesome. I
sourdough.
just went and, speaking of which, may I share with you?
Yeah.
I just went out today and bought distilled water for soap making. And let me show you the book that I got that makes soap making so easy. And I got it on Amazon. And just so you know, it is Prime Days that started today. This is the book that I got.
Oh, that looks beautiful. It's
Mhm.
natural and simple soap making. Jan Berry.
That looks great.
What a pretty cover. I like the cover
Isn't
art.
it a pretty cover? And I got to tell you, I opened it up. It's one fun thing about getting a new book, right? And the very first ever is how to make the easiest ever cast style soap using cast style soap, right? And
Yeah.
it gives you the exact measurements that you need. It's a recipe, just like as if you're baking or cooking. And if you
That's fantastic.
follow this, you just can't mess up the soap, right?
Mhm.
So I'm going to dig into this and make some soap. So I'm excited
That's
about
great.
this. So I haven't officially used the book, but I can tell you just from what I've seen in this book, I do recommend this book already. You're going to know whether or not you like the book, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
My mom has made homemade soap since I was a baby. And so
Okay.
it's just one of my favorite things. She actually, our Quilted Little History, our Quilted Homestead started as a channel as simply Soap Mom. And
Yeah.
that was Mom's channel. And then as we became adults, there's Mom.
I know.
Mom is our commenter today. Mom's in the comments.
Well-
So Mom and I are going to get back into soap making this year. And
So
we're
let me tell
gathering our
you-
stuff together.
There's actually an open collaboration going on right now. And where is my friend? Right here. Mountain Grandma, Tammy. She is hosting her and Lisa over at Yogi Hollow Farm are hosting a collaboration called Soaptober. And
that's cool.
you can make, like if you do a video, all you'd have to do is show your process, like how do you make the video, mention them in the open collaboration and tag their channels. And then you go into a playlist and then people get to go watch your channel. And
Oh, what a neat project.
that's what collaborations do. It helps get you to meet in the community and get support that you need as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if you make any soap, and it can be the easiest soap ever. Like last night, and I didn't record it because I was so busy getting ready for church. My hand soap here was running low, and I'm like, oh, I need to make some hand soap. And so, look, Tammy's still here. We'd love to have you join.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. I'll go over and check that out. I'll check
Yeah.
out your channel, Mountain Grandma.
She's
that
really
Tammy?
great.
Is
She
that
has a
grandma?
lot of apothecary stuff on her channel as well. She is very knowledgeable when it comes to that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'll go check you out.
yeah. So what I did last night is I just took my cast iron soap that I had. I filled my soap jar up with half of water, right? Added the cast iron soap, half and half, basically, and then added my essential oils in there, shook it up, and now I have this really nice soft soap. And that's how easy making your own soap is,
Yeah.
you know, to
Mhm.
wash your hands with that doesn't have all that other stuff in it.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Jamie.
Always.
You're awesome. This is the link for the Soaptober playlist. So if you do it, she'll put you in the playlist and then it'll be out there so anybody can come and watch those videos and see who you are.
Hashtag Soaptober24. I'll write that down.
So there's some incentive to make some soap earlier than maybe you. Hey, Templin, Katie. I wanted to let you know. So, Katie, we're so far off our Thanksgiving theme, but that's okay today.
We did get a little lost.
It's just where it is. Templin Acres. You have a beautiful voice. That's all I can say. Your video with you singing, you blew me away. And if you don't know, I told Gail from Gail Southern Living to reach out to you. She's doing a Christmas singing collaboration that you can just sing on your channel and post it. So you should join that. I think that would be really great for you. She has a beautiful voice. And that's Mountain Grandma. So yeah. Okay. Let's go back to Thanksgiving, right?
Okay.
So what are your family traditions in on Thanksgiving? Like, what do you traditionally do? Aside from food, what are your traditions that you do each year to prepare?
Yeah, so we watch a lot of Christmas movies on and around Thanksgiving. A couple of our favorites are The Miracle on 34th Street. We always watch that one. And The Bishop's Wife. That one's a good one too.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that's my brother's favorite. So we always watch that one.
Oh, I love Cary Grant. I asked for Cary Grant movies for Christmas.
I love the Bishop. It's so funny. Not many people know that movie. Very good movie.
Mm-hmm. And so we always decorate for Christmas the week before Thanksgiving. So we'd be doing that this weekend, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we always play board games and card games on Thanksgiving. And yeah.
We like one of our favorite card games is Dutch Blitz. Have you ever played Dutch Blitz, Dina?
Sadly, I don't know how to play it. I have it, but I don't understand the game. I think it requires more than 2 people.
It does. So not a lot of people have heard of it.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Everything okay?
Yeah, my husband's getting ready to leave to the church, and I had to tell him where something was.
Okay. Yeah. But we were talking about Dutch Blitz, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So not a lot of people know about it, surprisingly. When I'm like, oh yeah, I love Dutch Blitz, people are like, what's that?
No.
Oh, here comes our mom.
I have it.
Camera. These are cards. So
Your
it's
mom
a
is
Mennonite
cracking
game.
me up. Your mom is
She's so
get out
helpful.
here and show your beautiful face.
But these are the cards. It's a Mennonite game, and
Yes.
they have boys and girls, and so you have to sort them out into the individual pot. It's kind of like solitaire, but with lots of players, and it can get aggressive. So if you've ever played Dutch Blitz with the Mennonites, they know what they're doing, and it gets competitive. We have some Mennonite friends up in Hartselle, Alabama, and there's like 2 Mennonite churches in Alabama, but they're friends of ours. And so one of my Mennonite friends, Kayla, she says she'll get to playing the cards real fast, and then you'll block her off with a move, and she'll go, "Good Pete."
There she comes.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Yes, Dutch Blitz gets violent.
Can you hear it, Mom? Oh, you've got it going on your phone.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
No,
Good to see you.
boy, that would be just a fun game for all of us to play.
It is a lot of fun. It's good friendship builder. It's a good like icebreaker when you have a lot of people around and they don't know what to talk about and they're feeling kind of awkward. Bring out
Yeah.
the Dutch Blitz and everybody gets to be friendly here in a minute.
That's fun. That's fun. It is that time of year where you tend to gather around more and play games and, and watch movies, the Christmas movies and that. Last year we had our friends here from Texas, and my daughter and son-in-law were here, and they brought over this game called Beat This. Have you ever played Beat This?
No.
Wow, I had no idea, but it was hilarious. What it is it's a game of different challenges, and you can you do it by so you draw a card and then you read the card, and this is just an example, okay? Like throwing a little ball. It comes with the stuff up into a cup, right? You have to try or flip the cup upside down for it to stand right side up. One was drinking water and gargling a song, and the first person that's quite funny when they just spit the water all over the place. So basically what it is then the people say, oh, I think you're going to do that in a certain amount of time, and you put your little chip down or something like that, and then you have to proceed and do what the card says. Sometimes there are different things of standing up and they're just acting out whatever it is. It is quite funny.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Are you leaving too? Bye,
You're gonna have the house to yourself.
No, my son's leaving, my husband's leaving, and
You get a quiet house.
I do. Yeah. The dogs are here. Hey, Breezy Crochet, welcome in. Mom's name is Ruth Ann, Jamie?
Yes.
It's a fun game. Go check out Beat That. It's really fun. I think it's a great icebreaker of a game too, with a lot of group, people that maybe you don't know, but yeah.
Oh.
So I love your traditions that you do. That's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
That's a lot.
Bryzy Crochet says, my 22-year-old and I are each giving up 2 hours a week to the other to pick movies or series that we want the other to watch with us. I think that's sweet.
Yeah,
I think that's
very
really
sweet.
nice.
I like that. Yeah, I know. So like, how can you be more intentional with your family during the season, and embrace? Yes. I know for some it's very hard. The holidays are very hard for people for many different reasons, so.
Yeah. We did one that was similar to what Bryzy Crochet said. And we, between the hours of, 2 and 5, we had a phones down time where nobody's allowed to look at technology for those hours of the day. And we talk to each other.
But you have to, right?
Yeah.
You have to. We were actually our Bible study. We were just last night, our group got together here, and we were actually talking about being connected versus like, what does that really mean? And can you make true connections on social media? Mm-hmm. And I have been blessed by meeting people in real life that I have met off of social media, and we have become friends. I have also met people on social media that there's an instant connection. You're one of them, your family's one of them, an instant connection that we just clicked for whatever reason. And that's to me, that's a God thing, that God connects you for a reason. We haven't met, but we have talked on the phone, and we've exchanged emails and text messages. And this is now our second life together. So.
Yeah. And social media, I think, is very important in that way, that it does allow people to connect together. But there is another side to it. And that is, I know personally some people, usually in my age group, who think that social media is the connection. And if you're not on Facebook, then there's something wrong. And it's like, no, You can text me. I have a front door. Come say hi.
Right. Or call me instead of text. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I go back to one day I was in the grocery store, and an older lady, and I don't want to call her too old because I don't know how old, was there. And the cashier was probably maybe, Rachel, your age. She was in between, I think, you and Heather's age. And the lady was just like, you have got to greet the customers and thank them. And sadly, we have a generation that doesn't know how to communicate because we're on this all the time. And we think Snapchatting is a way of communication, right?
Yeah.
So,
and that's why it's fun for us to hang out with the Mennonites, because the Mennonites don't have any of that. And so it's nice, it's refreshing to hang out with kids in our age group who also, because we were homeschooled and we got social skills like in real life settings. So we went to the grocery store with mom and we talked to the cashier and learned how to have an interaction.
Because it's important. You have to learn how to interact. And I'm sure you had other homeschool groups that you gathered with. You know, people think they're all secluded. They're not. There's groups out there where the kids go and they have PE classes. They go do field trips together. They have to learn, like, social skills. My first job at
16 was a tour guide. So yes, social skills are huge important, and social media, it can be both a blessing for making those long-term relationships and a curse for the younger generation, especially who grows up in that.
Especially because when you're on social media, and a lot of times if you're in a traditional classroom, you're around your age group and, you know, following your age group a lot. And for me, it was very beneficial to have relationships outside of my age group, you know, to be friends with people who were 80 years old and who were 5 years old. And I think that really helped me with my relationship skills as well, instead of just following the people who were my age.
I totally agree. And it's funny that you should even say that. So Saturday I was up in Pennsylvania with my Amish friends. Now these are two sisters, right? And how old are they? They're 60s and 70s. But I love hanging out with them. They're so much fun. And, you know, it was so funny. We went shopping and we went to this, she wanted to go, we were leaving the thrift store and she's like, do you want to go across the street to the, they had a succulents greenhouse type thing. She wanted to go look. And I said, yeah, you want to drive us over? And it was a joke. It was a joke. You had to be there. But anyhow, we went across there and we started looking at stuff. And we started digging through the trash can because they had pulled all these plants out of the trash, like their aloe vera plants and all this stuff. And the little girl, Caroline, little Amish girl, she was 9 years old. She said, you can have them. Take whatever you want. People do it all the time. I was like, okay. So we were laughing. The sisters and I were laughing, like we were dumpster diving.
Getting the plants started. I am not ashamed. I have gone to Lowe's before and pulled plants perfectly good. I actually have a pothos, a golden pothos plant it sits in my foyer because we have a split level and it sits above the stairs and it's huge and it's been going for what, like 6 years now. And I pulled it out of the trash can at Lowe's.
Exactly. They do. They throw, and you know, at the end of the year where like Home Depot does, they take all the plants, like the Bonnie Bell tomato plants, pepper plants, they throw all that stuff out. I'm like, that is food you're throwing away. That's the way I look at it. Why not just discount it and let people come and grab it? And I think it's probably the bigger the loss is that they can claim this was a loss because it didn't sell or went bad or whatever is, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it from that point, claiming losses. Yeah.
So Christy, that's another one. In the old days, you took the mills. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That is one thing that I really pulled from my Mennonite friend, Kayla, I mentioned earlier, is she would always come to my house with food. And so I started bringing that. When I would go visit people, especially elderly people, I would just bring something, some dinner rolls or bring a casserole or some cinnamon rolls or something. Right. And just,
because they enjoy it.
That's a very good point.
They enjoy that so much and they enjoy the company. Just as my sisters, the two sisters, Lydia and Anna is their names. They love when I come up and we go shopping and spend the day together. It means a lot to them. And we have such a good time shopping, you know? Mm-hmm. So, okay.
We're very
so off of Thanksgiving. I'm so sorry, everybody. But so here's another fun fact. According to this sheet, it says Thanksgiving didn't become a national holiday until over 200 years later. Sarah Josephiah Hale, the woman who wrote Mary Had a Little Lamb, convinced President Lincoln in 1863 to make a Thanksgiving a national holiday. Did you know that?
No,
There's
that's
a
really
little-
interesting. You know, I heard somewhere that Benjamin Franklin actually wanted the turkey to be the national bird. And I just, every now and then I have a moment where I stop and I go, what if the turkey was the national bird for the United States of America? Like,
Like, what if you just saw turkeys on top of every American flag?
The eagle is such a stronger bird, right?
yeah.
The eagle is just a stronger bird, I think. But yeah, because the turkey, yeah, I don't know. They are, you
It's
know,
kind of funny.
it's funny, right? Have you ever what? Are you serious, Christy? Lincoln was your cousin? That's so funny. That's amazing. That's pretty cool, right? The old ways are the best ways, and I think people get that confused. There's so much to be said about the ways our ancestors lived their lives, and it was hard. It wasn't an easy way of living, but the legacies that they left and things that we were taught from them, I think, is amazing. I don't ever take that for granted.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So does that mean you're really tall, Christy? That's so great. They are, you know what, Jan? So one day my husband and I were leaving. There's only, well, the way we go to get out of our area down the road off to the main highway to get wherever we need to go. There's always roadkill on the road. You can't help but, there's always deer because there's so many deer.
Mhm.
Perched on top of this deer was a bald eagle. And it was
Wow.
just, yeah. And I was just, oh my God, my husband just, he, people think I'm crazy when I see a bald eagle because they're out there, but you don't see a lot of them, And
Yeah.
I know they're around our area because there's nests and everything around here. And it was just like, wow, look at you, beautiful creature, just perched up there going, I'm eating this deer and all the vultures need to stay away.
Wow, that's fantastic. Nature is so cool. Nature is just awesome.
Wow, you're 5'11"? My niece is tall. Sherry, how tall is Shelby? Like 6 feet? Okay, let me see what else we have. Historians say that there were no turkey mashed potatoes that were served at the first Thanksgiving. Instead, it was deer, ducks, geese, oysters, lobsters, eel, fish, pumpkin, but not pumpkin pie, and cranberries. The pilgrims and and not cranberries. Did you know that?
No, that's
It
cool.
makes sense.
It makes sense though, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what they would have had, just like the homestead. You eat off what you can grow and what you can bring in. And when you don't have a harvest of potatoes, then you eat something else.
Yep. Troy Sutton. Sorry, Christy. Yeah. Troy, you're funny. No,
Oh my goodness.
My boys are like 6'5", and they're not like straight skinny. They're like bulk. Well, I was 5'8", and my husband was like 6 feet. So my daughter, on the other hand, got the short gene in the family, to be honest with you.
I got the short gene in my family. So
She's the oldest, but also the shortest.
I am the oldest and the shortest. Yeah, I'm 5'6". So
That's a good height, I think.
yeah. So Rachel's taller than me. Everybody else in my family's taller than me. My dad, I got the short gene from my dad.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. John Clark. So you want to hear another fun fact, or do you have anything else you want to share about Thanksgiving on the homestead or anything?
Yeah. So I I'll just go back to what I said earlier, and that is when I'm thinking about like that last one that you said, how they had deer and fish and whatever they could gather, it just makes you more thankful for what you have. And when you grow something off of your homestead like that, you have that connection to your food, and like it's like, oh, I know this green bean. I picked this one. This is the really long one that
Exactly, right?
Or oh, look at this tomato that I pulled out of the freezer to can. And this is the really weird lumpy one that I took a picture of for Instagram. Or and then it makes you feel so much more thankful, not only for the food, but for your family and for the people who helped you grow it. Like
Right.
we shared last time that our dad passed away a few years ago. It was 3 years ago, and last fall, when we were getting ready for holidays, we pulled out a can of tomato soup for something that we were making, and it had Dad's handwriting on the top because it was within the good date. And we just realized, wow, Dad canned that for us. Like Dad did that, and it just brought back so much thankfulness that is the way that we live, and that is the way we do things. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's interesting, how that to be thankful, right? There's so many things to be thankful for. We could look at the negative in our circumstances, but I mean, I look at your circumstances and your mom, and I know that it's not easy. I'm not going to pretend that it is, but you have a thankfulness in your heart. You have a thankfulness in your heart, and that's only comes through God in Christ that gives us that peace, right? So, here's another fun one. I read that one. Oh, I forgot a whole section of the last thing. It says forks weren't introduced to the Pilgrims until, the first Thanksgiving meal would have been eaten with spoons and knives. Forks weren't introduced to the Pilgrims until 10 years later.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
Yeah. Did you look at, so remember when Troy made the comment about the beard? So Christy says, well, Troy, there is that stray hair growing out of my chin. You guys are killing me here today. You're so
the comments have been lively.
They have chopsticks. I don't know why your mom said chopsticks. I'm lost now in the conversation.
Chopsticks.
For
we're talking about
is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, we were talking about forks and spoons and knives.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting, right?
It is interesting.
It says we can let's start again. We can thank Thanksgiving for the first TV dinners. In 1953, Swanson's had 260 tons of extra turkey, and a salesman told them they should package it into aluminum trays with other sides like sweet potatoes. And the first TV dinner was born.
That's interesting.
But I bet you, now we never ate TV dinners ever growing up. That was not something my mom, dad ever, never.
Yeah, neither did we.
I'm just saying never. And it's not a bad thing, okay? But it's not something that I was even raised on. It was like, if as a kid you would want it, right? Because it was fun. It looked like fun food. But there was like, no, mom always cooked every year, or had my sister and I prepare things, because mom worked after we went to school. She worked, during the day. And so when we came home from school, we would have to, do certain things to help prepare for supper. We weren't allowed to turn on the stove. So it was basically, if it was a salad, you need to wash and make the salad, that type of stuff, if that makes sense. But my point is I'm wondering how good the food was back then compared to what it is now and what they put in it.
Like the quality of stuff that you buy at the supermarket.
Yeah. So like if the first TV dinner came out in 1953, was it as pure as anything and they froze it? Did they add anything? I just wondering, like, did they add anything extra in it?
I remember hearing that the first actual supermarket as we know them today didn't open until like 1920, almost 1930, 1920 something, almost 1930. And I would have to Google that to be sure, but it makes sense with when you think about history and the
Yeah.
history of food production. The supermarkets are a relatively new thing, like within the last 100 years. So
Right.
there would have been a lot more smaller market stands, like produce stands and butcher, your butcher, your baker, and your candlestick maker. And it
Right.
wasn't until within the last 100 years that they all got wrapped into one conglomerate organization.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, huh? And then that's what makes the mom and pop stores so hard to be successful anymore, unless you
Yeah.
live in that rural community. And my store was like that mom and pop store. I was a small business and I ordered good stuff and I had good stuff. And it was a place the kids in the neighborhood would walk down to after school because it was safe. And the parents knew, like, I got to know the parents are like, now you call us if there's a problem, I'm like, no, I'll put them to work if they stick around here long enough. Which I actually did. The neighborhood boys, they would come around. And when I remember one year, I'm like, yeah, you guys can help me weed the planters around the shop. They need to be weeded and I'll pay you. And so I paid them and we had a pizza lunch, and then I ordered pizza from them because I was so thankful that they were there to help me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's fun.
we had fun, and the parents were so thankful. And I'm like, hey, they're fine. I was a school teacher. I know how to handle these kids, especially the boys. Like, it's all good.
Mhm.
Here's one. It says each year the president, and I think he even said something about this, the U.S. pardons a turkey and spares it from being eaten. The first turkey pardon was done, a ceremony started by President Truman in 1947.
That is cool. That is cool.
Yeah. I
Pardon
like
a
little
turkey.
history trivia.
Yeah.
My husband's a big history person, Heather. So it's kind of after 35 years, it's kind of rubbed off on me. I'll be honest.
I'm a history buff too.
I know. Rachel, do you like history or
I do.
do you ever research any of your quilt patterns and find out the history of those patterns, how they became?
Oh yes. So down here, I don't know if oh dear, what's the name of it? Gee's Bend Quilters. We have what's called the Gee's Bend Quilters down here, and they were kind of teaching about the Underground Railroad, and I think they may have actually their grandparents were a part of the Underground Railroad.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're fine.
So a lot of our quilt patterns come from that time era, and they actually used to use quilt patterns to mark what houses were safe and what houses weren't. So I think that's really cool.
So they would sew a specific quilt block into a quilt that they would hang on the line, and if that quilt block was hanging on the wash line and the enslaved people saw it, they would know that's a safe place to go for shelter.
Yes. And so
interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. And so when we were young and studying the Civil War era, that's kind of how Mom taught me all the Civil War stuff because I was into quilting, and that's kind of how homeschool goes.
There's a lot of history in quilts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Amish quilts, the same thing. They have patterns that they use historically and they still use today.
Yes.
I'm more of I like history textiles. So looking at history through the clothing and stuff like that. And that's honestly how I can remember the time periods is I look at it and go, oh, they were wearing that during this time period.
She'll be watching a movie and be like, that is
sense.
not how they dressed in 1869.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I can agree with you than that. I never thought of it that way. So you just taught me something new today, Rachel. Thank you. And my quilt that I've actually started is a Civil War quilt. And I think it's, it could be The Road to the Civil War, if that's the name of it. But it was a nice quilting book, and it gives you the history behind it. And I was working, I think it involved the states because I was working, I think it was on the Ohio Star is the one that I was putting together at that time. And I don't know if they still have the quilt show, but every June there was a fabulous quilt show. And this is when I was into quilting, and my mom was here one year and we had gone and we came across this vendor. She had the most beautiful replica Civil War fabric. And I think, I don't know, I think we bought one or two of each fat quarter that this lady had, and we just pulled them. I mean, it was such a good price. Like, we just pulled them. It was fun.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah,
that.
me
I
and
like
mom
that.
have been. Yeah, me and mom have been collecting Civil War prints. We actually have fabric right now that's red, white, and blue Civil War prints.
Yeah.
And so we've been thinking about doing a American flag quilt.
Oh, I'd love to see that. That would be pretty. I have them all up in my sewing room where they're tucked away nice and neat, still rolled with the tape around it.
Yeah.
I used to go to a quilting guild out here, and that was a lot of fun. And I met some really great people, and they were really encouraging and helpful too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So Christy says in Spain, that's how stores were. The owner was actually a butcher and ordered employees. Yeah, you know, I can remember if my sister there was a little market called Market Town growing up as a kid, and it was the full-on butcher shop. And then you would walk through the door. So the butcher was here, and then over to the left, then there was, and I remember it's called Inga's Bakery. And that's where you go in there, and it was all your fresh baked breads and pastries that you could get. You didn't have to really go anywhere else, right? You just went up the street. Did you pay a little more for it? I'm sure that you did, but the quality of what you got was good. What's mom handing you?
We have received another. Yeah.
I have that book.
How to make Amish quilts.
I think I have that book. We
Okay,
should all
Claire.
sit down and make one together. We can do this. Not necessarily live, but we could all sit down and do this and teach each other how to do things.
Yeah.
You remember, Sherry? I remember. Yeah. Hey, Mona did what? Mona is a sewer too. She had a live today. I was not a part of, but I was in the chat, and they sew every week.
No, that's fun.
Quilts and purses and stuff live, and they have a fun time.
That's great.
Yeah. So do you want me to read any more facts, or do we need to go?
Oh, it's up to you. It's up to you.
Okay.
I think what is it? Oh my goodness, it's an hour and 25 minutes already. It never feels like that long.
I know. Look, she says you're welcome to join us anytime. Thanks, Mona. You're so
Yeah.
kind.
Well, check out your channel. Thank you.
Yeah. So here we'll run through these really quick if you have time. Do you have time?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. It says each year, I already read that. Let's move on. I'm reading it off my phone. So it says President Abraham Lincoln is the one who makes Thanksgiving to be on the fourth Thursday in November. Did you know that? So he's the one.
No.
So Abraham Lincoln decided that we were going to celebrate Thanksgiving on the fourth Thursday of the month. And that's what we do every year.
Okay.
That's interesting. Did you know that a wild turkey can run 20 miles per hour when they are scared, but not domesticated turkeys?
If you've ever chased a chicken, you know that to be true.
Yes, I have. I have chased many of chickens in my day. They can't get far though. That's what's so funny. They think they can, but they are fast little ones. And maybe this was Benjamin Franklin wanted the turkey to be the national bird,
Oh, cool.
not the eagle. So it was on there. So yay to you, Heather, for knowing that bit of history and telling us already.
Bit of
That's
trivia.
great. Did you know that Americans eat 46 million turkeys each Thanksgiving?
46.
Wow.
That seems like an astronomical number.
Doesn't it?
Like, I don't even know if I can imagine that many turkeys.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, because it's not like in any of the other countries, celebrate Thanksgiving like we do, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
46
that
million.
Yeah.
But I guess with all the people, the restaurants, buffets and stuff like that, that's a lot. That's a lot of turkey.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's a history one for you, Heather. The heaviest turkey on record. You want to take a guess? What it weighed?
30 pounds.
50?
86 pounds. And that's in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Wow.
No way. That's huge. Wow.
I can't even imagine bird that
over
big.
80 pounds?
86 pounds. How unhealthy for that poor bird. It
Yeah.
probably couldn't even get up and walk, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about, like the joint health and stuff. I wonder what kind of a cross it was.
I don't know. It's in the
Something industrial.
Guinness Book of World Record.
Wow.
They say the average turkey for Thanksgiving weighs about 15 pounds.
Mhm.
I have a 12-pounder.
Wow.
Campbell's Soup created green bean casserole for an annual cookbook 50 years ago. It now sells kind of 20 million. Oh, it's now wells. Huh? It now wells. I think that's a typo on there. It should say sells for $20. I don't know. I cut part of it off. 20 million worth of cream of mushroom soup.
We have a guest. This is
Aw.
Luke.
Hi, Luke.
He likes to get up in the middle of
That's okay.
excuse you, whatever we're doing.
Well,
We can put him down.
you're fine. I'll show you. Here, let me show you something. Well, let me go back over here first. The famous song Jingle Bells was actually written for Thanksgiving, not for Christmas. Now, I don't know if that's to be true.
I feel like Jingle Bells is really old.
Yeah.
We're going to
Really
have to find
Jingle
out
Bells
some
is
more
really
information
old.
about Jingle Bells. Well, this isn't true anymore. At least I don't think that I don't know. I never go out on Black Friday. They say it's often the busiest day for retails, but did you know that it is also the busiest day of the year for plumbers too? No, I did not know that, but that's good to know. Now, about a month ago, I was out. I think I told you all. I was out at my coops and a stray cat came to me. Did you know that?
No.
Did I tell you that? Yes. And so I was like, kitty, kitty. And I'm not a cat person. For those who do know me, I'm not the biggest cat person. I'm a dog person.
Mhm.
And I didn't pay any mind to the cat because I figured it's just probably over here wandering around somewhere, right? So it disappeared and then it came back. And it did that two or three times. And I was like, oh my gosh, this cat is a stray cat. It was so hungry. It just meowed, meow, 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 meow. So I ran into my house. Anyhow, long story short, the cat is now our cat. His name is Oliver.
Oh, I love that. That
Um,
was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid was Oliver and Company with the orange cat.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where you
so
based the
funny.
name, but
Well, I feel bad for the cat because it is cold, but he sleeps inside our shed. Today we brought him in the house. He was terrified to be in this house and wanted right back outside. I'm like, okay, then he just needs to go out. I don't want him in the house because he needs to get fixed. He needs to get neutered.
oh yeah.
So I just not going to go down that road. But yeah, cats pick their people. Tell me about it.
Yes, I just saw that at the same time.
Yeah,
they do.
well, we've gone out. We've bought this cat its own bed, and we keep because it hangs out on our deck a lot. We've put the bed out there, but the cat is paranoid of the bed. It's so scared of the bed, and I've tried to put him in there, and he runs away. And so before we got on our live, my husband's like, oh, he's in his bed. I'm like, no, because it's cold outside. Look at Oliver in his bed.
Oh my goodness. He looks just like Luke. He
Yes.
looks a lot like Luke.
Maybe they're distant
Wow.
cousins.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's
he's-
how we ended up with
goodness.
Luke.
Is his mama was a stray. and she gave birth at our house, and we ended up adopting all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have 3. We have Luke, Lily, and Leia.
Aw.
Okay, Willow, you need to back up, puppy.
Stop. My son's dog is here. But so
We're
yeah.
having dog.
So he is out there, and it will be bedtime for him soon. I'll feed him and put him to bed. But it's just like I feel bad for him because he's out there. But what do you
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, some cats are like that though.
Mhm.
Some
Yeah,
cats
exactly.
they've lived out in the wild for so long. That's just what they know.
I don't, to be honest, I don't think he's that old. I don't think he's that old, and I don't know where he came from. So, hi. It looks like somebody like peeking through the theater curtain, like, oh, who's out there? That
Like
was your mom,
Wizard of
right?
Oz. Yeah, this mom. She's trying to get Willow to leave me alone. Willow thinks that she has to be attached to me at the hip. So the whole
That's
time we've
okay.
been on our live stream, she's been whimpering in her room trying to get out. So she finally got in. And
That's okay. Do you have any other things you want to talk about for
Oh my goodness.
Thanksgiving or about Thanksgiving on your homestead?
Well, a lot of our Thanksgiving has to do with putting our own food up, and it becomes a real harvest celebration of just what we were able to grow in that year. And honestly, a lot of it has to do with the processing of the chickens and the processing of the meat. So next year I'm going to try turkeys, but because that hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I know some people get uncomfortable with talking about meat processing, so I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable.
That's
I've been
okay.
really thinking about, what we were talking about, the historic Thanksgiving and what that looks like compared to today's Thanksgiving.
Right.
And I'd just like to encourage everybody to really think about what they're thankful for and the good things that have happened this year, because this year's been crazy, with the elections and everything and,
Yeah.
overseas tensions. And I think it's just good to kind of take a step back and be like, things are still okay. Like, what are we thankful for? What good things happened,
Mm-hmm.
And I really totally agree with you. But it's also keeping that thankfulness in our heart year round, right? Not just that one day, and those memes, right? We see it all the time, right? We're thankful one day and then we're out, stampeding people in the lines for a toy because it's a popular toy for kids,
Mm-hmm.
But I totally agree with you. I think we have to keep our hearts and being thankful for what we have and how it was provided and given to us, because God's in control of all of that. And it's funny because when I think about my garden this year, so my goal this year was to grow a lot of hot peppers and different peppers so I can make hot sauce this year. And it's so funny. Oh, thanks, Mona. It's funny because pretty much my garden did really bad, but my hot peppers all did really well. And I was just like, God knew what I wanted. And I feel like, oh, thank you, Lord, for that provision, because that was my goal this year, was to get those hot peppers, to make. And now they're all in my freezer waiting for me to find recipes to make, hot sauce. So,
Yes. Yes.
So, but yeah, I think
Spirit of
just
Thanksgiving. Yes.
being very, very thankful for what we have and keeping that in our heart year round, not just for one day, is really important too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Tina. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know that it's hard to. There's time. I mean, we've all have been through things, right? And in our trials, we don't understand things when bad stuff comes our way. But we just always be thankful, because God is always truly there. That is one thing I know in my own personal life, because I didn't always walk with Christ until I was 40 years old. So I know what I know, and I know he's always been there showing me and giving me grace and mercy every single day. And I'm so thankful for that. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything else? Does anybody have? So go to our Quilted Homestead They talked about their traditions of their Thanksgiving, and I love it. I can't wait to see your house decorated and see how you do
Maybe
that.
we can do a video when we get the Christmas stuff up, and
Yeah.
we'll at least post a
Absolutely.
short, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. We kind of were all over the place in our. Oh, thanks, Mona. Mona did what? Subbed over there to you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We our chat kind of took us all over the place. It's kind of fun when that happens. Where
It was fun.
yeah, we
Well, there's
kind
a
of get
lot
off.
to talk about.
Well, there's
Mhm.
always so much to talk about. We don't talk regularly, right? But
Yeah.
even then,
Yeah.
And the comments had some great input too.
I
Yeah.
loved it. Jamie, thank you so much. I really appreciate all your work out there that you did moderating. Yeah, moderating. That wasn't coming out right. Moderating the channel, and it's good. Can you tell it's getting darker in here?
Yeah.
It's quarter to 5, but it's really dark outside with clouds and everything. But yeah. Jamie's putting together an air fryer collaboration too.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I think we're gonna call it. If you guys can just hang, ladies, just for just a few seconds afterwards, so I wanted to share something
Okay.
with you.
Okay.
What time's your soap premiere, Jamie? Because I don't want to miss it. I have chores to go do before it gets dark. So what time are you premiering that? I know I love my air fryer. I use it a lot. So let me know. Let me know what time it is. So anyhow, friends, we're gonna go. Thanks, Jan. Appreciate it. I hope everybody has a wonderful, blessed Thanksgiving. If you're not back on here when I do my live again, but I will see you tomorrow night if you're back. Wait. When I'm confused. Will somebody please text me the times of the premiere? So if I can get on there, I will. Hey, Susan, thanks for jumping in. We're actually getting ready to hang up now, but thank you so much. I appreciate you jumping in here. So everybody have a blessed day and we'll see you on the next live. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.